Greetings. Welcome to the 9:30 edition on this Wednesday evening of our First Alert Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Mark Dixon here in the Channel 3 First Alert Weather Center. Pretty nice day across Connecticut. Turned out to be a little bit brighter. We had an offshore disturbance that spread clouds across southern New England. We ended up experiencing a dry day, and with a bit more in the way of some sunshine, temperatures peaked at levels just a bit above where we were forecasting, but still below average for this time of year. Normal highs in the upper 70s today, low and mid 70s for most of the state. And we are going to turn a little bit warmer tomorrow, and they're in a little bit cooler Friday. And the weekend, at one point, looked dry from beginning to end. That has changed a little bit. By no means a washout. Still looking to start dry, but could end a little bit, a little unsettled. I also want to point out that today, September 10th, is the peak of activity, historically, climatologically speaking, for the Atlantic Basin. This includes the Caribbean and as well the Gulf. So when you take into account, as you can see on this graphic here, the tropical storms and hurricanes, the major hurricanes, so three different colors, you can see that peak right now. But things have been relatively quiet. We've had 6 named storms. Of those, only one has become a hurricane, and that was Aaron. So there's a couple contributing factors. We have the Saharan dust that's been moving across the Atlantic that's off of Africa, and that is suppressing development. Also some wind shear out there. So we'll continue to monitor things. Remember, the Atlantic hurricane season runs through the end of November, and currently the National Hurricane Center is monitoring a wave off the coast of Africa that, as it moves toward the west and northwest over the open waters of the Atlantic, it has a low likelihood, at least as of now, to develop, but certainly bears watching, and that likelihood spans the next 5 to 7 days. So if and when we were to get our next named storm, you can see the ones we've had already: Andrea, Barry, Chantal, Dexter, Aaron, and Fernan. Now, Gabrielle would be next up on the list. Of course, we'll be the first alert you here at Channel 3 if and when that happens, as well as through the free WFSB First Alert Weather app. It is a great resource for all things weather here in Connecticut with the interactive radar, but also some really cool features in there with regard to the tropics. Now, here in Connecticut, temperatures today peaked again for most in the 70-75 degree range. New Haven, a bit of an outlier, popping to nearly 80 degrees. And for the Hartford area, normal high 78, 75. So temps today within a few degrees of what is considered typical or average for this time of year. From our morning lows to our afternoon highs, basically within 3 degrees for both. So not a bad day out there. And we've, of course, been able to enjoy comfortable levels of humidity. Now, the month of September, again, we're 10 days in, a third of the way through the month. We've had more cooler than normal days than warmer than normal days. Those average highs above average, the highs, I should say, above average Thursday, Friday, Saturday, heading into last weekend. So cooler than normal, also a bit wetter than normal. We had rain, meaningful rain, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So from Hartford to Bridgeport, again, wetter than normal, cooler than normal for the first 10 days of the month of September. And as we've been highlighting on the drought monitor, abnormally dry conditions, coastal, southeastern Connecticut. We get an update on the drought monitor tomorrow, Thursday morning. So this, because it's updated weekly, does not include the rain that we had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we should hopefully see some improvement on this graphic when it is released tomorrow morning. So, of course, more on that as we know it. In the meantime, First Alert Live Radar, the only live radar in Connecticut, it is scanning dry, border to border. The cloud cover from earlier has been eroding, so our sky is going clear. And temperatures, they've been dropping from those 70s earlier into and through the 60s, and then for some already here in the 9 o'clock hour into the upper 50s. That's the case at Windsor Locks, Putnam, also in Salisbury. So temps continue their downward progression. But in the meantime, we are up compared to this time last night for almost the entirety of Connecticut, the exception of Windsor Locks. But we're up several degrees compared to this time last night. Winds are northeasterly where they are up 3 to 8 miles an hour, otherwise calm, for instance, up and down the 91 corridor. So tomorrow we've got a brighter, warmer day compared to today. And then the weekend begins dry. And as I alluded to earlier, showers will be possible starting Sunday, perhaps lasting into Monday of next week. So right now from Waterbury, 61 degrees. You can still make out some cloud cover looking skyward there from our iCam in the Brass City. So those clouds will continue to erode as the night progresses. From our iCam in Hartford, you can see the moon and just a couple clouds out there. So those clouds will continue to depart. There's our view overlooking the green in the Elm City of New Haven. You can see part of the Yale campus, 67 and 60 right now from our iCam view in southeastern Connecticut from New London. So the clouds today have been in association with an area of low pressure riding along a stalled frontal boundary offshore. So even rain stayed to the east of the Cape and Islands for the most part. So tracking far enough offshore, high pressure basically deflecting that wet weather from moving farther westward. And at the same time, we were calling for the chance for at least some isolated showers today, low end chance, and really didn't materialize for us. And our sky did turn a little bit brighter this afternoon, and that helped to boost those temperatures well into the mid 70s. So looking at the big picture, that area of low pressure offshore continues to spin away along that boundary and taking with it any remaining cloud cover. But looking to our northwest, there's a cold front moving through Canada into the Great Lakes. That is going to be moving through here in Connecticut about 24 hours from now, but it's going to do so with little fanfare. So just some scattered clouds, otherwise passing through dry. So for tonight, we're expecting temperatures where they are currently in the 50s and 60s to drop eventually through the 50s and inland bottom out in the 40s and low 50s, and along the shoreline between 50 and 55. So a cooler night, and our sky goes clear. So tomorrow morning we'll wake up to plentiful sunshine to start our Thursday. We'll see plenty of sun late morning, early afternoon. Then as that cold front moves in, with it perhaps some scattered clouds by 6, 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, but that is it. So prior to that front arriving, temperatures top out in the 75 to 80 degree range inland, and from the mid 70s to low 80s along the 95 corridor. So these temperatures near or a couple degrees above average for this time of year. So we're calling it seasonably warm. Sun up is at 6:27, sunset at 7:07. So it is Monday of next week that our sunset shifts into the 6 o'clock hours. We continue to lose daylight. We're right now losing around 2 to 3 minutes a day. All right, so tomorrow, Thursday, we have another grouping of fairs that get underway, the Four-Town Fair and the Berlin Fair. So if you're heading to any of those tomorrow evening, temperatures, say 5, 6 o'clock, that are in the 70s, eventually drop into the 60s as we head toward and past sunset tomorrow evening under what should be a mainly clear sky. Any of those clouds, again, in the evening should erode as we head past sunset with the passage of that front basically again falling apart. So here's the setup for tomorrow. Sunshine to start. Here comes that boundary basically washing out as it heads into southern New England. So again, just some scattered clouds. Then the big blue H, high pressure builds in for Friday. That means lots of sunshine as we close out the work week. And speaking of Friday, it's going to be cooler than tomorrow. High temperatures in the mid 70s. So, and then as we head into our Friday evening, if perhaps you're going to head to a local game, a high school football game, or specifically our game of the week that's going to air on the Wax, which is Stafford at Middletown. Temperatures at 5 o'clock around 74, drop into the upper 60s by 7, and then several degrees cooler than that by 9 o'clock. So if perhaps you're doing that Friday evening, weather cooperates. Perhaps you're heading to the Big E on Friday. That is when it starts. The 2-week stretch begins. So looking great for heading to West Springfield, Massachusetts. So on our first alert 7-day forecast, if you're heading to football, if you're heading to a fair at any point over this weekend, looking pretty good. Saturday, a couple degrees warmer compared to Friday. Sunday could be a little bit milder compared to Saturday, but Sunday will also be a bit cloudier, and we're going to run the chance for at least some isolated showers Certainly not a washout by any means, but may not be entirely dry either. So your first alert to perhaps a somewhat unsettled second half of the weekend, but nothing that should garner changing plans quite yet. And some of those showers, compliments of a disturbance that's going to be moving through, some of the showers could linger on Monday of next week. Tuesday's dry, mix of sun and clouds. And then a week from today, Connecticut Day at the Big E. And it looks like, at least as of now, the weather should cooperate. So we'll be monitoring that very, very closely as thousands of folks from our state head to the north and up into West Springfield to celebrate the big day there. All right. We'll have much more on Eyewitness News at 10 o'clock on the Wax and over on Channel 3 at 11. And in case you are not familiar, on WFSB Plus, we do these long-form, deeper dives into our weather on weekdays, 8 o'clock in the morning and then 9:30 in the evening. All right, that is it from here for now. Have a great night and enjoy this beautiful weather.